I want to talk about the green graph here. So this green graph here is the graph of the second derivative. And the second derivative gives us concavity. So when I look at this right here, see where this 6 is, where this hits the x-axis? This is my inflection point. So if I come up here to my original graph, which is the blue, at 6, this is where I change from concave down to concave up. That's my inflection point, and I can see that's where I'm switching between them. And I only have one because I only have two parts. I have a concave down and a concave up. Then when I look at here, if I look at 2, this is negative, which means concave down. I can look at my graph. Ooh, that's concave down. Then from here on out, I'm positive concave up. So when I look at this, when I look at my second derivative is going to tell me if I'm positive or negative, and that positive or negative is going to relate to concave up and concave down. So a negative second derivative is a concave down, so it's this hump shape here, whereas concave up is my dip, my valley. And the zeros are going to be my inflection points where I change from concave down to concave up or vice versa. So when I look at the second derivative, I can tell something about the concavity of the graph. It's also important to remember that when I look at this, I'm not looking at the graph itself. I'm looking at something that tells me about concavity. It just tells me whether that is concave up or concave down. It's not telling me something else. This isn't giving me a value of that one. And that sometimes it can be hard to disassociate that with that. I'm getting information that I'm using to sketch it, but it's merely telling me the shape. It's not telling me, for instance, any points. It's not giving me any of that information.